I'll tell you what though, I'm really fired up, and obviously had a lot of time and to think and to plan and to do cool stuff, right? And figure out where we're going. So one of the things that I wanted to pass along is the beauty of being a listing side person, right? Because the reality of it is I didn't miss a thing being gone for the whole time that I was gone because I had the inventory. If I was still technically working because I have inventory. So my inventory is working nonstop and everybody else is selling it, showing it, doing it. And that's the beauty of it. If I was just working with buyers, I would have been completely out of business. But I wasn't out of business. I was completely in business. So I think when you guys start thinking about business planning, what kind of business do you want to have? If you want to have some flexibility, there's no option. You have to get some, you have to have inventory. When you have inventory, you control your business, you control your schedule, you control your destiny, you control your own economy at that point in time, because it doesn't matter what's going to happen. If people have to sell, they have to sell, right? If they have to adjust prices, they have to adjust prices. If they have to sell, they have to sell, right? So we just have to advise them when to do things and when not to do things and just do that. So that was a very good realization, which we all know, but I think it was a very good reminder for everybody to just to pay attention to that one. So if you wanted to go do something, go away for a little bit. If you have inventory, you have people that can watch for you. You can do everything on dot loop. You can do what you got to do, right? Especially new construction. It's a whole lot simpler on that one. So, but I'll tell you what, it was really good time to recalibrate primary aims, which we all need to do, and figure out what we're doing this for and where are we going, what are we doing, and all those questions come together. So very, very fun. And I just think it's awesome that we are very fortunate to be in the industry that we're in and the markets that we're in with all the tools that we have and the team that we have. It's just, we're blessed to do what we need to go do, right? So I want to make sure we all stay focused on doing what we're doing. I loved your daily post this morning about ignoring the noise, because there's noise everywhere. It's global noise, guys. It is. It's everywhere. It is just, people are spreading fire, right? And it doesn't matter. Some people are going to do very well. Some people are going to be paralyzed, and some people are going to be completely wiped out of the industry. And it's completely our choice is which ones we want to be. I know what we're going to do. We're going to do very, very well, right? Because it's a choice, and it's a choice to flow with whatever the economy is doing, because why fight it? It is what it is. It just stay a couple steps ahead of it to figure out where things are going and what people are doing, and helping people do what they're going to do naturally anyway, right? Which kind of goes back to what you're talking about, is you've got to figure out the getting rid of the noise and niching down, right? Because the rest of it doesn't matter. That's my intro.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been thinking a lot about this, and then on Saturday, a good friend of mine referred me to a buddy that he works with, and they both are lead sales teams with inside Aramark. And so he refers me over to this guy, and he's like, hey, just FYI, this guy is the #1 sales guy for all of Aramark worldwide. And I said, oh, awesome. So I said, you sell with him? And he said, no, I sell, my accounts are all regional accounts, and within this industry, he sells enterprise accounts within this. And so we started chatting about that. And that just really got me thinking, because if legitimately we look at any top sales organization, you look at any professional sports team, you look at any doctors, lawyers, no one does everything. They all specialize. So when we look at a sales organization like Aramark that's doing billions of dollars in sales, and then you have a top sales guy, but their top sales guy is not calling on the pop store as well as his national account. No, he's focused, and his accounts are the only people that he's prospecting. And I chatted a lot with this guy. He's a really interesting dude. And he would kill it in real estate, because his whole mindset is hunt. And it is driving him crazy. He had interviewed a bunch of other agents, and it's driving him crazy that he's like, they just don't have the hunter instinct, and I don't understand it. And I said, well, you welcome to the real estate world, my friend. You know, not a lot of agents have that killer instinct. But talking with him, it just really with me that if you look at any other high performing sales company or an industry, it is all niched down. They never have one person that's focused on everything. They don't have one. They have divisions that are separated. They have people that are separated. They have all these parameters put in place. Now the real estate industry structured a little bit differently, but there's no reason that we wouldn't take the clues from those successes of companies and other industries and apply them to what we do. And in my opinion, it's one of the biggest things missing. We have too many agents, not just within our company, industry-wide, that are just aimlessly going out and they have no plan. It's impossible to connect and communicate because you don't know who you're connecting and communicating with because you're not focused. You're just literally hoping that someone raises their hand and says they want to do something in real estate. And that is not a business plan, right? That's acting on a hope and a wish. And that is never a good plan. So what I'm hoping for all of us is that we can get really, really clear on what we want to have happen. Now, that doesn't mean that this dude might not walk in to get a coffee at a local coffee shop. They get to talking and then that person's like, hey, we've actually been looking to switch providers. Now, will he sell that person? No. The way he explained it to me, that's when he calls my other buddy, Nick, and says, hey, Nick, come in. And then he takes a portion of the deal, but he's not spending his time with that person because they're not the accounts that he handles. Nick handles those accounts, right? And I'm like, wow, this is literally the way that the real estate industry should work. So have to get committed to this, right? And so those random deals will come. If we can get very focused on what you actually want to happen and who your ideal customer is, and go after them in every way, shape, or form every single day, you're going to be far better off, I believe, than if you don't. And I especially believe that as the market shifts, you're going to build expertise, you're going to build trust, you're going to build brand within that niche, and it's going to pay dividends.
Well, let's drill into that for a second. I just look at the attendee list on this. I see Julia is on that. So Julia is about to put a condo on the market. It's probably almost a $3-4 million beautiful condo, right? So that's great. And she could be a one-off, one-hit wonder, getting that one deal and have a nice check, right? Which is what most people do because they'll pounce onto their friend that wants to buy in Carrollwood next week and then go down to Lakewood Ranch and then hop over to Deltona and screw on over up to Oldsmar and pop 4 or 5 deals over the course of the next couple months. And life is good, bills are paid, but you're tired and you're aggravated and you have no predictable business and you're dead. You're on the hamster wheel from hell and you have to hope and pray you bump into somebody next month that wants to do something somewhere and you're stressed out of your mind, right? That's not right. It's not the right way to live. Worrying about when you're going to get business. Now, switch gears for a second. The complex where she's about to get this one listing has a couple hundred units in that complex, and they're all at least $2 million now. So there's a couple $1 million per deal, and there's I think 4, maybe 6 buildings. I forget how many are in there. But what if she became? I'm not saying she has to do this. I'm just using this as a good example. What if she became the quote unquote mayor of that community? And she made it her point to say, I'm going to know every single person who lives in building 1, then building 2, then building 3, then building 4, then building 5, right? And I'm going to know who lives here full time. I'm going to know who's an absentee owner. I'm going to know who vacations here. I'm going to know who's never been here. I'm going to know everything about it. I want to know who's maybe considering renting it. I want to know what's going on in their world. And I'm going to have a spreadsheet with building 1, all of their names, go into Remind, all of their phone numbers, any email addresses, absentee, not absentee, and make some notes, right? If she spent the time this week to organize herself, to say, okay, I'm not going into building 4 right now, I'm going to building 1. And she checked off. Bob and Mary Johnson, live in Chicago. Phone number, boom. Hey, Bob and Mary, this is Julia of C21 Beggins. Listen, I've got a unit coming up, building 3 right now. It's pretty cool. Just want to know if you had anybody interested in maybe in the marketplace. Most importantly, I'm curious, what are you guys doing? It looks like you bought this a couple years ago. Congratulations, your equity is awesome. Right? Why did you buy this? How'd you have to pick this area? What about this area was exciting? How often do you come down? It looks like you live there. It's not homestead. Are you renting it? What's happening with you? Let me just get to know you. By the way, I'm down here. If you ever need anything, please save my phone number. Julia, building friend. I want nothing from you. I want no money from you. I just want to know that you got a friend down here. Let me know what I can do. She just stole that person, right? And collected them into her little database. And now every quarter she says hi, or every month she says, hey, just sold another, or another one just sold, even if it wasn't her sale. But if she was the empower, educator, and encourager for that one little specific project, she would make a ton of money and her life would be so easy because there's only 9 floor plans probably to know, and the different exposures, sunrise, sunset, sunwest. What are the best restaurants? What's the best Italian restaurant? Where is the school? What are the churches? How long does it take to get to the airport? How long does it take to get to Disney World? What are the things to do, walk around? What do people like about living there? And actually builds the story about that one particular project, right? And if she just said, I'm going to say for the July and August and September, I'm going to give 3 hours a day to doing nothing but owning and just owning and becoming top of mind to these few hundred people. And I'm going to watch what happens, right? If she actually focused in on that. Now, by the way, this could be any neighborhood. I think you see that, right? The parallel. I'm just using this as an example because if there's 400 condos, there's a neighborhood with 400 people, and you need to do the exact same thing if you wanted to super niche down. But that requires focus, consistency, and a why. Because inside of her mind, if she's going to get a deal a month from that complex and they're $4 million transactions, she's gonna make 100 grand a month, right? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of cash, and it's gonna make your drunk monkey go crazy to make $1 million a year. Okay, if you're not used to making $1 million a year, it's going to sabotage yourself, so you stop doing the effort that creates that outcome. Okay, but I want you guys to all agree. I think you can all agree that if she did this, she would have a tremendous amount of business, not just in that building, but from that sphere. Because many of those people have an aunt, uncle, brother, sister, nephew that's moving here or selling something, or something's going on. Somebody's getting married, somebody's getting a divorce, something's going on in that market. So that's just a very graphic illustration about taking a niche and owning it, right? So that's just one example, contextual, I wanted to talk about today. And then I just saw her online, so it just popped through. What do you say about that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the hardest part with this concept is the fear that it's not enough, right? Oh, well, what if none of those 400 people do want to do anything, and then I'm only focused on them and I missed out on all this other opportunity over here, and it's this constant fear of missing out on something else. And I think so it gets very difficult for people to like trust that that's going to pay off.
Well, let's talk about that, because that's a very valid point. Now, notice I also said 3 hours a day, right? Carved off. This is my own XYZ neighborhood time in my schedule. 2 hours a day, 1 hour a day, something, right? This is my time. The rest of the time, keep doing what you're doing, right? Do your post, do your daily marketing guides, follow up with your spheres, follow up with your past, keep posting on Instagram, do some TikTok, do whatever you want to do, keep doing it, right? I'm just saying, get to the point where you have a constant flow of business coming from one specific area, right? I don't care whether that's a neighborhood in Indian Rocks Beach, a neighborhood in Celebration, right? A condo building, a super niche of strip centers, right? Restaurants, new construction condo projects, lots, dirt, duplexes, triplexes, $1 million homes, waterfront homes, beachfront homes, gated communities, starter homes, right next to elementary school homes, right? What move up, move downs? There's a million different niches. But so if you want to have a consistent business, you got to pick something. If you don't want to have a consistent business, you just want business, then just spitball everywhere and you'll get some business. But I can't tell you where you're going to get business next month or if you're going to get business next month, because as the market shifts, fewer people or different people do things. So you just got to pay attention to that one. So, but you're right on. So sell yourself on this one and say, I'm going to take this amount of time, set aside, like right now, block off a time in your calendar right now and say from 2 to 3, I don't have anything today. Now you do. It's 2 to 3 today. It's pick the neighborhood, pick the niche, pull the list, and start going into Remind and finding who lives there and their contact information. If you get 8 of them done, fantastic. What's your schedule like tomorrow? From 2 to 3, you don't have anything in there right now. Now you do. It's your time to finish your database, right? And as Craig brought up, as you build the database, get them set up in Moxie. And then now you have a digital newsletter going out to the whole entire neighborhood. You can't do it to the whole state of Florida. And you don't need to go to the whole state of Florida, but you do have to have relevant information that's contextual to the audience that you want to serve. And that's it.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think that's really what we want to get across. And, you know, listen, it doesn't have to be niche down to a neighborhood. If you're sitting there, you're like, no, that's not my thing. I don't have that neighborhood. I'm not from here. Whatever story you're selling in your head right now. Okay, but we got to do something, right? And so one thing that we've been spending a lot of time on the back end of things is creating these different lanes. And farming and prospecting, which is essentially what we've been talking about so far, that is a lane. And what we're doing, and I'm going to put it in Beggins Agents for all of you, is you're going to be able to go in, select that lane, and then everything you need to be able to execute on that lane and execute on that niche is going to be there for you, from marketing material to the scripts to you name it. It's all there, one spot, all the marketing material, contract training, everything you need. So once they say yes, what do I do? Step-by-step guides are there. The contract training's there. Loop training's there. Moxie training is there. Everything literally in one spot for you, so that, to my post this morning, you can put blinders on like you're a racehorse, not worry about anything else, and only focus on that niche. So obviously farming is one of those lanes. We have the home partner / rent to own lane. That's a lane, right? If we wanted to drill down and just focus in on that, you could do that. We've got social being a lane. If you know, now social is typically a lane that you can layer in on top of something else. It's usually not its own lane unless you're really going deep on it, but that's in there as well. So we're gonna have all these different lanes for sale by owners, absentee owners. Those are each individual lanes. You know, for sale by owners is a big one for me. I think that's going to become huge again as the market shifts, and as it's not, you know, as you guys are experiencing, it's no longer, hey, let me just throw this on the MLS and I'm going to get 87 offers. You know, are there pockets where that's still existing? Sure, but that's not going to be the norm. And so that means that it's going to take for sale by owners a lot more work now to actually get their home sold. They're not going to be able to pay $100, get it on the MLS and get a bunch of showings, get the home sold. So now they're needing help again, right? So what if we become that resource? Well, that's a commitment, because if you want to really work with for sale by owners, we've got a bunch of things that will work. We've got marketing material for them. We've built the for sale by owner guide. We've got all this stuff that will work, but it takes commitment. So are you going to sit there and call or text or email or do whatever you want to do? Are you going to reach out and connect with for sale by owners all day, every day? Well, if you're willing to commit to that, that is a lane, and you can become an expert in for sale by owners. And so that's a lane, right? So all these different lanes are opportunities for you to really niche down and start making some money. Now, the way we've built this is that I still think that you need to niche down even more. The lanes are the method, right? So let's just take Home Partners, for example. Home Partners is eligible throughout most of Florida. I am not saying be a rental expert for Florida, but what I am saying is let's take that Home Partners lane. Let's become an expert in the program. Let's know everything about it. Let's know how it works. And then let me take that and let me say, you know what? But now I'm going to go after renters in Wesley Chapel. And even that's probably too big. So I'm going to go into, I'm going to focus on people that are renting in Wesley Chapel that are paying $2,400 a month, that live currently within 10 miles of my current address. And that's who I'm going to, if you take the concept of the lane and just drill it down as much as you can to the area that you actually want to work in, you're going to be much happier and you're going to be more successful. Because the last thing that I want to do is go handle a renter who's trying to rent in Palm Harbor, right? I don't want to do it. And I don't want to go also work a renter that's looking in Riverview. And I also don't want to go work one that's looking in Sarasota. But if they come to me, do I have agents that I could refer it to in Sarasota? Yep. Do I have an agent in Palm Harbor that I could probably send that lead to? Yep. Do I have a agent in Lakeland that I could send something to? Yep. Do I have an agent in Orlando that I could send something to? Yep. So that's where I can still own the niche and still make money. And so that way, if that person refers me to somebody else who's outside of my niche, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to say yes. What it does mean is I'm going to be able to help them. I'm going to demonstrate that expertise, and then I'm going to simply refer them out. And if you don't know who that agent is, you don't need to. All you need to know is relocation at C21B.com and let Ashley and her team take care of the rest. And then you just collect a check when that deal closes. So all of these systems have been built. They're there for us to follow. We just have to actually take the step to do that. So we're going to have these lanes all built out. They're already built out. I just got to link it out in Beggins Agents for you guys, but it's there. And so I want you guys to really pick one of these and become an expert, and then drill that down to the area that you really want to work.
And now, all right, now let's talk about why we're doing this right now. Because I know that there's a lot of you right now that are realizing that what you were doing is not as productive as it was 6 months ago, right? Can anybody be honest about that? That you're not getting as much as you did, right? Doing the things that you used to do. So when we're honest with ourselves, realizing that that's true, then we have to sit back and actually have a real honest conversation with ourselves and say, A, am I okay making less? And it's okay if the answer is yes. If that's what you want, if that puts a big ass smile on your face, that's up to you. If the answer is no, I'm not okay with making less, I want to make the same or more, then we have to do something different than we did before. Fair enough? Right? So you're going to have to dig deep and say, okay, I get to create my business now. I can't just hope more, right? To create more. I can't just say, God, I really want some more deals, right? Let me just manifest some people to fall on my lap, right? It doesn't quite work that way. You have to talk to people. So manifestation is a point, but that's not enough, right? So you get to the point you're saying, okay, I need to go get some business. And you say, okay, now where do I want my business? Do I want it here, 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 or here? This lane, this lane, this lane, this lane, or this lane? First, right? Now, some of you say, I don't just want to work for sale by owners. I want to do fine. Then maybe for sale by owners is your Monday lane, and maybe something Home Partners is your Wednesday lane, and maybe something else is your Friday lane. It's your business. You get to do whatever you want to do. I'm just saying, don't do all of it. We're just trying to say, don't do a little this, a little this, a little this, a little this, because you're going to get a lot of nothing, right? Without clear focus, right? And a lot of you can handle multiple lanes if your goals are there, right? But if your goals don't match the need for multiple lanes, why would you aggravate yourself? Doesn't make any sense. If you need one deal a month, then pick one lane, knock it out, go to the beach, right? You need 2 deals, do one lane, knock them out, go to the beach. You need 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 deals, you might have to do a couple of different lanes, right? To get those markets working for you, unless you go super deep into one. But if you want a little bit of variety, do a little absentees here, do some FISBOs there, do some social every day. That's fine. But you got to get clear on one and then get good at it, get results from it, and then you can scale it a little bit more, right? So it really goes down to primary aim, goals, and what do you want your life to look like? Because that's what it's all about. And it's so interesting that everything always goes back to that. Like, why do we want to go do? We got opportunities right now to open up an office in Germany. Do we want to do that? I don't know, right? Do we need to do that? Nope. Would it be pretty interesting to do that? Yeah. Right? Would it be interesting to kind of open up that flow of traffic back and forth through one lane? Interesting. Worth exploring, but it takes bandwidth and it takes an idea and it takes, do we really need to do that? Because we don't. But do we? Do we want to go global? Do we want to go nationwide? Do we want to get bigger? Why? Right? Why do we want to do that? Do we want what's going to come as a result? Is it the journey? Is it the challenge? Is it the doing different things along the way? Is it fun? Maybe, maybe not. But it's an idea, right? Ideas start an exploration. And then you start to figure out, what do I want? What do I want out of my life? Well, how do I want my life to be? What do I want to experience? What do I want to do? How much money does that cost? How do I want to experience this one? There's a difference in travel, right? You can go to Germany, because we just did it, one way, or you can go to Germany a different way. The only difference is cost, right? The only difference is, are you willing to work to create the income to go do things a certain way? Maybe some of you don't, right? Some of you would rather put your money somewhere else and not spend the money on that type of a travel. It's up to you, right? But it really depends on, where do you want your life to be? How do you want to be with people? What kind of experiences do you want to do? How do you want to be with your time? And what does that world cost? And then how many deals does that take to go do that? Because it takes deals to create cash to do things. It just does, right? So how many deals do we need to do depends on how you want to live, right? So then you go back to say, okay, which lane am I going to go in? How deep are we going to go? And how many deals do I need to go pull out? You get to do 4 extra deals this quarter to pay for something you want to do next month. Go do it. You're going to go do 4 extra deals this month to pay what you did for last month. Go do that. You know how to do deals. We've got a great market, right? We've got different market than we did 6 months ago, but still a great market. And so we just have to get all in and remind ourselves, like, what is your goal? What is your drive? What is your reason? Why are you doing this? Because there's no way Julia would sit there and go pull 400 people's names out onto a CSV file, set it up into a doc that she can go now open up Remind, go open up Forewarn, copy, paste, drop it in, and spend hours and hours and hours building a boring ass task to go do something if she doesn't have the desire to stop throwing $3,000 a month, flushing it down the toilet to pay for the guy's lifestyle who owns her apartment complex, right? And then she says, but it's enough for now. She's okay doing it. She's been okay doing it. And she says she's not, but she is, because she renewed her lease, right? Sorry, Julia. But that's the whole point. So, but what's the situation? Now, how many $4 million condos need to be sold in order to save for the down payment to go buy herself a future rental house? Maybe not a forever house, but a future rental is what she should be buying. What she can afford now, then refi later. That's you can just call me. I'll help walk you through there. So that's the point, guys, right? You got to figure out, what are you doing this for? What is the reason that you're going to be committed to doing it? Not just interested in doing it, saying, enough, this is how my life is going to be. This is how much income I need every quarter, and get out of my way and watch it happen. And then you make your own schedule and you go do your own thing, right? I mean, every one of us could have called it in today, right? I could have easily said, I didn't sleep much last night. I'm traveled. I'm jet lagged. I'm tired. Puma covered training. Puma would have said no problem, right? But I have a lot of stuff that I want to do today. I don't have to. No one's going to shoot me in the head if I don't. But I have goals and things I need to get done. I got new deals I'm going to go find. I've got things I'm going to follow up on. I got things I'm going to do because I enjoy the income flow that comes from the result of the effort that I put in. So I can go do cool stuff. Right? That's the point. That's got to be the drive, but it's all got to start there, because it always needs to. So how clear are you on the vision? How clear are you on your goal? How clear are you on the income needs you need by the end of this quarter? And I'm going to be pretty certain to think that you're not 100% certain on it. I don't think any of you are 100% certain on, by the end of this quarter, I will have this much money booked in my earnings from my efforts over the last 90 days, right? Honestly, be honest. Do you have that number? Rhetorical question or a not rhetorical question, it's up to you. Because we're wasting our lives, guys, if we're not, right? What's the next level? What's the next level in your life? And what are you going to go do? There's no better place. There's no better industry. There's no better no better market. There's no better time than right now. But are we going to do it? Like literally, do you have a little show of hands for a second? Do you have the schedule set aside today that you know the time that you're going to dedicate to finding new business, who you're going to call and what you're going to say? Is it lock solid in your schedule today? And if it is, fantastic. And if it's not, okay. We got some hands going up. Good, 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 good. Okay. And even if your hands are not going up, it's okay. But we have to stop it unless you want to be okay with just being okay. That's up to you. I don't think that's enough for you. Life is too short. There's too many cool things to go experience. And if you're not fired up about it, then let us know so we can help you get fired up about something. That's what we got to go do, right? It's just go figure cool stuff out to live an epic life and have a great time doing it. And there's nothing better we can do than this business that we're in right now. But sorry for that little rant, but it's an important aspect and we miss it and we got to go back to it. Because in my head, I heard a bunch of drunk monkeys coming through saying, yeah, but, right? Yeah, buts are going to shoot you in the head until you actually say, yes, drunk monkey, I understand it's a lot of work. I understand it's boring. Sometimes I understand that I might get a little rejection. I understand some people might say, why the hell are you calling me? Stop me. I want to do not call it. Never call me again, you son of a bitch. Right? Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. You know why? Because I'm saving for my next level lifestyle, which allows me to go do this. And I'm not going to remember that guy in the future. He's not going to remember me in the future. Life is okay. And I'm going to do it 18 more times today. Right? Because I need one good appointment this week on a motivated seller that's going to answer yes to the questions. Do you have to sell? Do you know where you're moving? Do you have a time frame to be there? And I'm going to keep calling people. I'm going to keep texting people. I'm going to keep DMing people. I'm going to keep doing whatever I need to go do, door knocking, until one person says, so funny that you're talking to me. We just decided that we are selling the house. We need to be somewhere by September and we're ready to roll. Why don't you come over and show me what you think the house is worth? And I'm going to keep calling until that person says that. Or I'm going to keep calling until somebody says, funny you mentioned that, I do need to buy. I know where I want to live and I know I need to be there by this time. And I'm going to keep calling, texting, knocking, posting, DMing, do whatever I need to do until somebody says me this week. Okay. This is Monday morning. We have all week through Friday because I want you to have a nice Saturday and Sunday. If you work your ass off Monday through Friday, you might not have to work so much on Saturday and Sunday. You can take a little time to do what you want to go do or schedule appointments that are worthy of your time as an exchange of your time for money, right? But only if they qualify, only if those three answers are yes, and only if they're ready, right? So how committed are you to finding one or two people this week that say yes to those three questions? Not say yes to one or two of the three questions, yes to all three questions, so you know you have a check next month, right? Not a maybe check. Those are good too. Those are called leads that we incubate and we love and we nurture and we hug and we hold and we squeeze and we love and we say, oh, I can't wait till one day you make your shit together and you get everything together and you actually buy something or sell something. I can't wait for that day to happen one time in the future. I love you, right? But stop wasting my time. Get out of my way because I need to find somebody to feed me next month, right? So incubation time, hunt and kill time, right? So I think we need to do a lot more of hunt and kill time, right? So we know we have one appointment this week. We know we have one appointment. We know we have a check coming next month. We know we have next week another check coming. We know we have another check coming, another check coming, another check coming, another check coming. Because the only way to have consistency, guys, is to get focused on that one. Incubate, love it, funnel, nurture, yes. But don't confuse that to finding the one. Now, if you don't have anybody that says, I have to sell, I need to be somewhere, I need to hear the right one, get to work. That's what we need to do. But you got to have that first level back of motivation to saying, God, it's hot. I don't want to door knock, but I'd like for my kids to go to a nice school more than I hate sweating, right? Where's the leverage point, right? I'd like to be able to have a nice trip next spring break for my kids with no expense spared to do whatever they want to go do and blow 20 grand. Then do it, right? That's the point. Like, what are the items that are firing you up right now? Like, what is the imagery? What are the visions? What are we doing this for? What are we doing for the kids? What are you doing for you? What are you doing for your loved ones? What are the things that you're going to knock down off the list? And what are the experiences you want to have? What are the places you want to go visit? What are the things you want to do to your house? What are the things you want to upgrade for yourself? What is going to put a big ass smile on your face? Like, literally, what is that list? And then what do those things cost? And then what's our priority of those things? And what are we going to knock out of the list this quarter? And how much money does that take? Then we go into our business plan calculator, right? And we say, okay, this is going to take one appointment a week. Easy. 2 appointments a week. Easy. To get those things, all I got to do is find 1 or 2 people this week that say yes to 3 questions. Get out of my way. Is there anything stopping me? No. Can I only talk to 8 people today? No. I could talk to 800 people if I'm willing to. How badly do I want that list accomplished? Right? What is it that's going to keep me going? Are you going to call 4 and then get distracted and not call 5? Then you're not going to get your list. Are you going to keep going? Are you going to maybe call 40 people today or 12 people today or knock on some doors or actually go down your list in your phone and send text messages to your contacts, right? Do something and call people and say, hey, Joe, I haven't talked to you in a while. How's life? Maybe you did 5 of those a day. Just like, really? There's so many things to go do. That's the problem. That's what Mike was talking about, putting this all together and say, okay, I don't have enough business. I've got a lot of goals that require more income than I have right now. So I'm going to go jump into this lane and I'm going to go do this. And this is the time I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it done. It's that simple.
Yep.
It's that simple.
And that it really is the point of the business plan calculator, because that tool, which lives in Beggins, will do the math for you. So if you can come up and say, hey, this is what I'm committed to, this is how much it costs, it will add in everything for you, including your current typical monthly costs, because that's important too, right? We can't, whatever you come up with, if I want $20,000 to go to Hawaii next summer, it's not just now making 20 grand this quarter to pay for that. It's 20 grand on top of whatever I already need to cover everything else. So now it makes you look at what is my current expenses. Now I need 20 grand on top of that. So now I need a total that's bigger, but that's how much cash I need to be able to pay, cover all my expenses, and put that money away for the trip that I want, right? So it literally will do it all for you. And then to Jeff's point, tell you actually need, how many deals you need to go accomplish that. And for most of you, it's going to be far less than probably what's even in your head. But also the biggest thing there is, Jeff Cunningham is a big running coach, and we've used his quote before, but he has the quote, it's better to be consistently than occasionally great. And I 1000% agree with that, right? We're all trying to hit a home run every at bat, but the reality is the Hall of Famers are hitting 300, which means they're getting a hit 1 out of every 3 bats in baseball, and you're a Hall of Famer. But guys that are sitting up there trying to hit a home run, yeah, they might hit 20, 30 home runs in a year, but they're going to hit 10, right? So who is better? Well, I'd much rather have a guy who's going to hit 310, right? So, and hit less home runs. So we got to stop swinging for the fences and just hope to God that we hit one every once in a while. Those will come. But if we can get really, really consistent, I promise you, your entire business model, everything will change. But you have to be consistent. And it's really hard. It's not an easy thing. I mean, it's just not. It's not an easy thing to be consistent until you have and find that thing that you're committed to. And once you find that, it's almost impossible to not be consistent. because you will find that you will hold yourself so accountable, it will hurt. And believe me, there will be times where it will hurt. But if you can get to that level of just, I am going to hold myself so accountable because there is no other option, I'm so committed to this, that's when it will work. And until you get there, you're going to struggle to be consistent.
And Lauren wrote in something important. It truly helps to have a coach or somebody to hold accountable, or an accountability partner to call you out when you slip up, because every one of us slips up. It's just called life, right? So when you have a commitment to yourself and say, okay, I'm going to talk to 100 people over the next week, right? 50 people over the next week, whatever the number is that you're committed to, depending on the outcome that you want to receive as far as income for your funding your lifestyle. And you know it's going to take 50 or 100 people a week new to speak with, then you could say, great, that sounds awesome. And then you disappear and we don't know what you're doing. We don't know if you did it. You could lie to us and tell us you did it. We're going to see it because your name's not going to be on the hot sheets and it's not going to have the results. But until you're actually called out and your goals are stronger than your excuses, sorry, I had to pause on that one, then it's going to be a big difference, right? So that's the question. What do you need to hold yourself accountable?
Yeah. And listen, I think Lauren's not wrong. Having accountability is a big deal. I would argue, though, that until you can look the person in the mirror and have that be the person that you're accountable, you're going to struggle. Because if I can't look in the mirror and hold myself accountable, then I'm at the mercy of somebody else. I'm at the mercy of Jeff I'm at the mercy of my spouse being there. I'm at the mercy of whoever is my accountability partner. This is why I think personal trainers are so ridiculous in gyms, because you're relying on that person to hold you accountable. Well, that's ridiculous because they're not always going to be there. The person who's always going to be there is me. So if I can get there and say, you know what, forget that. I don't give a shit, honestly, what Jeff thinks about me. I need to hold myself accountable. And once I get there, now, of course, are there things that I feel accountable to Jeff and Craig and our leader? Yes, of course, because we work together and there's responsibilities there. But at the same time, I know that on a daily basis, Jeff's not going to call to be like, hey, did you run today? I don't need him to, right? I'm going to hold myself accountable because I'm always there. That person in the mirror is always there. And if I can't look that reflection in the eye, if I can't look myself in the eye and hold myself accountable, we have problems. And so I would just urge all of you that if you're struggling for accountability, you've got to dig there. And it might suck in the beginning because there might be some disappointment. You might feel like you let yourself down. Good. It should hurt. But once you get to a level where you can actually look back and be like, you know what? Even if I don't hit that goal, I gave it 1,000%. I literally gave it every ounce that I had. You're feel a whole lot better than if you're like, whoa, because here's my issue, right? If I'm using somebody else to hold me accountable, it gives me another excuse. It gives me an out. I don't want any outs. I want everything to be my fault, because if it's my fault, then that means I'm in complete control. It means I have the power to fix it. If something is Jeff's fault and it's not my fault, it's a problem, because now I can't fix everything that Jeff does, right? So I want it to be my fault. I don't want an excuse. I don't want an out. I don't want Jeff to be my accountability partner and be like, well, Jeff didn't call me this week. So, he was in Germany and busy. And so that's why I didn't. No, that's an excuse. And I don't want excuses. So for me, I want it all to be me. I want the pressure. I want it to be my fault. If I succeed, great. It means I execute it. And if I don't succeed, then that's on me. And I've got to figure that out. Why didn't I succeed? Did I not want it bad enough? Did I cut myself too much slack? What was it? There's a reason. And so I'm going to literally play Monday morning quarterback on myself, and I'm going to figure out why. And I'm either going to fix it, accept it, and I'm going to move. But it's got to be my fault. And then once it's my fault, then I can truly control it and fix it.
John just wrote, accountability is similar to what came first, the chicken or the eggs. It does not really matter as long as you're achieving your goals. In the end, it falls on us, but the whole purpose of coach is to lift us up, right? Depends if you need to be lifted up. If you can't lift yourself up, because ultimately you're the one lifting yourself up, right? To Mike's point. Now, if you need help to help build the habit, which is what some people might use the personal trainers for because they're not mentally tough enough without that external pressure, right? If external pressure gets you to help you to build the habit, let your manager know. And then say, hey, hold me accountable. I have to talk to 10 people today. Call me at the end of the day or make me shoot you a text at the end of the day. Give me some accountability so I know that I'm going to get done when I need to get done. If that helps you guys, then do it. Tell us.
Yep.
Tell us. We're happy to do that. I remember I was going through some stuff on my desk the other day and I found it was really funny. It was an agent. This was a disappointing story. It was an agent that worked with us who had a really good, promising career ahead of him. And he was making calls, he was doing his everything, and then he gave up. And then he left the industry completely. And it was disappointing I know it probably ekes the back of his head every day because now he's stuck in jail, right? Not literally, but figuratively with a job that he's got to go to from 9 to 5 doing something that sucks, right? But he could have made the corner. But I found a check, right? And it was at the time, this is how long ago it was Bernie Sanders, right? He did not like Bernie Sanders at all. So I made him write a check out for $500, right? Made out to Bernie Sanders election campaign. And if he didn't hit his goals by the end of the week, that check was going in the mail. It was $500 signed by him, made out to that campaign, ready to be sent out. And if he didn't text me. If I didn't get those reports, checks went out, right? And I made him write me like 4 of them. And actually one of them went out because he didn't do it. But whatever it is for you, right? So other people make their husband, wife, cousin's brother, dog, whatever, and say, don't let me through the door until I prove to you that I talked to 20 people today, right? So whatever it is for you, whether it's your coach, whether it's the manager, whatever it is, you got, or it's you, and ultimately it will end up being you. But between now and then, right, if you need some help, please let us know.
Well, and I think the value of your manager, the value of the team, the value of an accountability partner isn't so much accountability, for me at least, as it is push, right? Doesn't mean that I don't want outside support or someone pushing me. I want Jeff to be like, hey, dude, you can do more, right? Because I'm sitting there saying, I'm holding myself accountable. Maybe I'm hitting my goals. Maybe you are hitting what you want to have. Everything you're working towards is happening. But if Jeff sees there's more, I want him like, yeah, you're doing great, but you more. I want him to push me. I want Craig to I want the people around me to push me. That's the purpose of a coach, right? Even professional athletes, why do they have coaches? Because they need somebody. They don't need the accountability. Tom Brady's going to go throw his reps and get practice in without them. But what Tom needs is someone else saying, hey, you can do more though. You can go, there's another level. Now I'm pushing as hard as I can. No, you're not. I can tell. Right? I need that. I want that extra push. But I again, the basic accountability of doing what you need to do has got to come from within, in my opinion. And then once that is established, then the people around you, and we have a very talented leadership team who cares, that is there. And that's when you will hit that next level, because that's what they're there to do. We are here that when an agent calls me and says, hey, I'm doing those things, great, let's do more, right? You can do more. No, I can't. Yes, you can, right? That's our job, is to push you to that, out of that comfort zone, because we all get there. We set goals, we get there, and then we start living in that comfort zone of, yeah, no, but I'm good. Are you? Right? And that's when it's just that little nudge that sometimes we need. So I want us as the leadership team to be the not the accountability partner. I want us to be the push partner. I want us to be the person, that the group that's helping you get to that next level and pushing and pushing and pushing. But I want you to become your own accountability partner if you can.
Did you just call us push partners?
We might need to work on the name a little
Yeah.
bit.
I might need to market that a little differently there. But here's the other things about this that from a coaching perspective is this. Where's your next level? What if you're making your calls, but you suck? What if you are blowing hearing the leads? What if you can't hear the close? What if you are missing it? How are you going to know? Right? Honestly, are you recording yourself? If you're not recording yourself, I have to ask you why, right? Everything in the planet sitting right here in your phone, right? You've got the recording devices. You got every app on the planet at your push of a button, right? Are you recording your calls? Are you recording your listing presentations? Are you recording your buyer presentations? Are you recording what you sound like on a preview? Are you recording how you do your pricing, right? Are you sending it to your manager? Are you sending it to your partner? Are you sending it to somebody? Are you asking another agent to say, hey, I'll record me, you record you, send them to each other, let's critique each other. What if you're doing upswings all the time? What if you didn't pay attention that it's a high D? What if you didn't even notice that he was an auditory person and you were in visual mode and you blew the deal because you were speaking different languages, but you didn't know? You're just like, damn it, this shit didn't work. I talked to a Facebook owner, he didn't list me, listed with somebody else, and the sign went up around the corner, and this doesn't work. No, you weren't very effective. You didn't connect. They didn't feel comfortable. They didn't like you, trust you, feel like you were the best option because you didn't connect well enough, right? So record yourself. How do you get to that next level? Why are you going to make the calls if you're sucking? You have to suck and then to learn how to not suck, right? You get a baseball coach. He's got to see your shitty swing before he can tell you how to hold the bat a little bit differently. And if you were to do this instead of this, try that and watch the difference, right? And then put your feet here instead of here, and then hold it like this, and now try it and see if that's a difference. Like, hey, why don't you start to slow down and listen and use this script, pay attention, repeat and approve. Look, you didn't repeat or approve. Try that today and see if you get a little better results. Listen here. If you didn't pay attention, listen to the words they just said. Do you hear when they said, tell me something, I want to talk to you, and could you please tell me more? You said, sure, when can we go look? Boom. You took a visual role into an auditory person and you blew the deal. Let's not do that again. Let's pay attention next time and let's tweak your swing, right? That's the next level. Are you a professional? Because if you are a professional, you need to tweak yourself. You've got to get tweaked, because wouldn't it be better to only have to talk to 12 people a day or 6 people a day to get the same results as talking to 20 or 30? The only difference is, are you in neutral? Do you know DISC? Do you know VAK? Are you repeating and approving? Are you following the presentation? Are you following the process? If you're not, okay, all we need to do is tweak and put you back on that path until you get it consistently over and over and over. And then it becomes a sport. You're like, ha ha, this will be fun. Thanks for having me over to take 5. And now all you're doing is scanning for DISC, VAK, repeating and approving, and connections. Right? You become the Jedi at that point. And life is fun. It becomes a sport. And then you're like, you know what? I wonder what I can do next. What could my next level be? Why don't we go do this? That'll be fun. And then you say, well, that wasn't fun. I don't want to do that one anymore. Let's try this. Oh, that is fun. Let's do more of that. Right? That's what life is about, guys. It's just tweaking and having fun and great experiences, loving life, doing what you need to go do. But it comes back to doing what you do well and becoming very good at it. But you can't be good at everything. You've got to niche it down and get good at that. Now, if that's producing results and you want to scale, scale, right? But scale what you're good at. Don't do a little here, a little there, a little there, a little there. Get really good and then scale. Scale, 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 scale. So that's, I think, that's what the points we wanted to come across today. Boy, did we hit a lot of topics today.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, niche down, get really good at it, leverage us to help you, and let's start building some expertise. And if you've already built some expertise, is there room to add a new skill? Is there room to add another niche? Is there, whatever it is, right? There's another level for every single person on this call, whether it's getting that first deal, whether it's getting that 5th deal, whether it's getting that 100th deal, whether it's whatever it is, there is a next level. You have to want it. You got to get committed to it. And now it's just a matter of executing.
Craig, on the manager's call today, let's talk about a productivity school, because that just popped in my mind. I think we need to do that, and really get some tweaks on scripts and deliveries done. So we'll chat about that on our call later today. Guys, thank you very much for your attention. And what kind of week are you going to have this week, Puma?
Best week ever.
Who gets to decide that?
I do.
That is the plan, guys. Make it the best. Go talk to people, deliver a great experience, and go have fun. Make money.
See you guys.
Bye.